You fucking ruined it.
Nice start to the show, guys, with a curse. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Republic of Players, episode 16. We
17.
Apologies, 17. Thank you for putting me off there, Fano, right at the start. We are on episode 17. Sorry about the terrible start here. But we are back with the normal crew. We have Paddy. What's happening, Paddy?
Right, Ron. How are you?
Good, man. We have Fano. What's happening, Fano?
How are we getting on, guys?
We have the Platinum Jack.
All right, lads.
How he's all doing? Good?
Good. Oh, Jesus.
Great.
There goes the poster.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
The Republic of Players poster has fell down.
Platinum
Platinum Jack, let the good people know what you have been playing recently. Please tell me you've given up on Digimon. Let's do this.
I haven't given up on that, but I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8. I kind of took a break from Digimon for a few days, so I was like, no, I'm going to play Mario for a couple of nights.
What has you going back to that game? The last time we were talking, you were jumping on with was it your brother you were challenging?
Yeah, myself and my brother just play it every night, and sure, we'll set records in races, and then we'll try and beat them. We're quite close to a couple of the world records because we're constantly trying to beat each other.
Oh, nice. One of the best moments happened in Mario Kart recently. It's when, was it you were racing
Kevin.
And Kevin was looking at the top screen, and you were like, you were doing probably the best lap I've ever seen. And Kevin didn't know that he was the bottom screen, and he was just running directly into a wall for about 10 minutes.
And he was like, no, I'm the top screen. No, Kevin, you're the bottom screen.
He was MVP of that whole stream, wasn't he? The stuff he did was absolutely brilliant.
But he lasted longer than nearly everybody else, though.
He did.
Yeah, never fallen asleep on stream.
Yeah, that was brilliant too.
He was unbelievable. What else have you been playing, Jack? Anything modern or?
No, not other than Digimon. I haven't really been playing much modern stuff, except it is Mario Kart 8 we've been playing. So,
do you not have an impending deadline with that Digimon game coming?
He does.
Yeah, I have 3 days, and I will actually have it in 3 days because I am nearly done the RNG part, and the rest of it's just smooth sailing from there.
RNG.
I don't believe you.
Or it basically in the game, there's 536 cards you have to collect. Each one of them is RNG based. You're not always going to get them. That's what's been taking me so long. Just getting those cards.
So you're saying it's a randomized thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I am about 100 off.
That must be.
Jack, do you ever think about taking up drugs or something? You know, it might do something there with your time.
Probably be better way of spending my time. All right.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Here, lad, you got any platinum trophies you'd like to give me?
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
You got the fries that'll cross my ass.
The next game, I want you to give us your full opinion, Paddy, because this one has hit the ground running, and that's the new Call of Duty, in particular the blackout mode. What is that like, and how are you feeling about that game at the moment? I know you put a lot of hours in.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a fresh look for Call of Duty for this mode, and you know we all seen it coming. But it's a very good game. It's different to my running addiction, which is Fortnite. Like, it's a completely different game. But it's a lot different to the original Call of Duty modes because you're not flying around killing each other, respawn and flying around killing each other. You have to take your time. You have to take angles. You have to strategize. You have to know what's going on all the time. It's going very well. I'm hooked on it at the minute.
So everything I'm seeing is mostly positive from the game. It has got one of the best ratings on Metacritic at the moment over the last couple of Call of Duties. So a lot of people are giving out about having no story, but I actually can see why they didn't do it. I think there is a lot of content there in the multiplayer side of things. I think you still have the old school team deathmatch and a lot of other modes. Zombies is there, one of the biggest ever. Have you tried out Zombies?
I've tried out Zombies. It's kind of I think it's more like a Celtic kind of feel to it. You're going into areas. Like there's one I was playing, you're going into an area and you end up shooting tigers, and there's a load of people come trying to kill them all the time. The zombies everywhere, tigers. It's very good. You keep updating. I keep dying a lot, but Not the
So
best at it.
is that like a thing you just play when you're kind of coming to the end of the blackout and you're a bit bored and you want to just jump in
Yeah,
and
if you want to mix it up, like that's what we do. We play in Blackout for a while, and then we mix up play multiplayer, and then you go in and play zombies. Like there's a lot of content there for you to play to mix it up all the time, and they're very different games. Do you know what I mean? Like you could be a different mode, and you'd feel like you're in a completely different game to what's going on.
one of the things that I've seen kind of get a little bit of a negative rap, but it's more nitpicky, is there's no kind of overall level. So there's nothing that kind of connects the blackout with the zombies or the blackout with the
No, it's all
match.
different levels.
You find that a problem or?
No, I don't, because it's a completely different game. Like the Blackout mode it's an individual game. It's nothing like the multiplayer, and it's nothing like the zombies.
So
like,
it makes it clear at the start. It's like
it makes it clear. Like, yeah, it's two different. You're building levels for the two different sections of the game. The only thing that the Blackout mode is good. The only thing that I have to criticize on it so far is the sounds. They're not very good with the people walking around behind you or beside you, or doors opening, or like what makes like a Fortnite and like that. You can hear everything going on. You know that someone's around you from the sounds. I think that's what they have to try and get over with a patch or something like that, because it's very. You'd be standing in a shop or something, and you can stand there next to the door opens behind you, and you can't hear it, so you're dead straight away. You need something to be able to let you know the dangers around. That's the only thing that I see bad with it at the minute. And another thing is that the player seems very close to the ground walking around. There's the only things I can really pick at. That's what's the problem.
They're kind of nitpicky kind of stuff that can be kind of patched in or whatever.
I don't know if they're going to fix that. Maybe it's just the way I look at it. That you're very close to the ground, but I'm used to that.
Does it steer you away from Fortnite, or do you still feel that you're playing a totally different game, or do you feel like it is kind of bleeding over, that battle royale mode is similar in the way it kind of runs? I know it's obviously different play style, but do you feel like you're playing a totally different game, like that you will eventually maybe go back to
Fortnite? I'll definitely be playing Fortnite again as well, but it's a completely different game. Like you can't. There's apples and oranges as far as I can see at this stage. Like it has the same modes. You start off on the island, 100 people. You have to get down to the final one. But like the weapons are different. The play styles are different. Like no building, obviously. Like it's a completely different game. So you could like both games, or you could like one of each. But they're not very simimer.
Fano, you were playing it as well. If you want to jump in and give your opinion on.
No, I've enjoyed it. I enjoy it more than Fortnite. I'm actually kind of better at it than I am at Fortnite. But the only thing I can see is how are they going to change it up? Like Fortnite changes it every season. They have something to add to the game. This could get stagnant very quickly because the map and stuff I think is kind of just what it's going to be until next year, until they release a new Call of Duty and put a new map on it.
You know, if they should really do what Fortnite is doing and try and update and try and keep it fresh. But like I don't know if they will. That's the only way it's going to keep going. Like the way Fortnite is doing it is constantly updating, constantly, and it's horrible to see the patches come in. But it's making the game stay around. Like everyone's still playing it a year later, and there's still some amount of people hooked on it, and that's because they update it constantly. And Black Ops or Blackout will need to do that. Update the weapons, maybe bring a few new weapons in, maybe bring a few new attachments, some new explosives, something like that to keep it fresh. But I understand what you're saying, Fano.
Yeah.
Completely.
Anything else to add to it, Fano? I know you've been doing well. I've seen you got a win there recently. Is that your first win, or do you have a couple down now? Or
no, we got a couple now. We got the very first day we got one. I've three. Three of them I think were with Paddy. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I got one solo and three.
They were definitely with Dave. The game, I don't know. That's what the only thing. Like the multiplayer is fine. It's just Call of Duty multiplayer. It is what it is. Zombies, I don't really play them anyway. And I had a zombie kill me in blackout mode there recently, and I wasn't too happy about that either. No, that was. I actually didn't know they were there. This is like one of my first games.
So is it like getting killed by a minion in League of Legends? That type of crack, is it? Yeah,
it's kind of like. Yeah, you're concentrating there on something that's not actually happening, and then something comes along and just hits you. It's like let's see. You know, if you play Dark Souls or Bloodborne, don't want to bring them up, and you leave yourself in a corner. You're like, I'm safe there. You go off, you make a cup of tea, you come back, and you're dead.
You're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that.
Okay. Anything else that you dislike maybe about there's obviously room to improve here. What I'm hearing is that the game isn't perfect, but what Treyarch Treyarch are after doing. They've pumped a lot of money into this. They're trying to make. Another thing I heard about was the pacing seems very good. Like it's almost like a Call of Duty where you're always looking for the next thing, and like there's action nearly around every corner. Is it like that? Like, does the circle close in, or?
Yeah, it does all those things. But I think another thing, the element that they add to it, that like it's obviously in PUBG as well, is the vehicles. But the vehicles are very well actually put together in the game.
Okay.
So like,
talk about those, because they were the new kind of addition in a Call of Duty.
Well, you've got the quad. You've got it's like a truck, but it's got like a trailer on the back of it, and everyone hops in there, and there's the driver. But then you've got a helicopter as well. You can fly around and stuff. So and like there's nothing funnier than shooting down a helicopter. By the way, just putting it out there.
Nice.
Because you just know that they've only have to take it off initial, and they're having the time of their lives, and you're just standing on the ground shooting at them, going, "You're coming down." Now.
Also, if you land the helicopter like straight down fast. Blows up. Which I figured out with 4 people with me.
Paddy took off in a helicopter over me one day. It was yesterday, the day before, while I was in the storm, and he just kind of kept going, and then he was dead.
Paddy found out by explosive force that happens.
Yeah. My habit of killing myself and killing others has moved over into this game, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, there's friendly fire. Paddy's loving it.
Friendly fire's back on. Friendly fire's back on. Oh yeah. First day I was playing Ray, I threw a freaking grenade in the window. I couldn't help it. I didn't mean it.
Actually, the best part of the whole game is the windows. No one uses doors. Everyone hops through a window and out the other window. Well, me and Paddy do, definitely. We're the loudest people going through buildings. But the doors are never opened. But whoever installed those windows, they're all single glazed. They're all the exact same throughout the place. And if you find a building that you can't get through a window, Paddy does get very pissed off.
When he was like, no windows, I'll just blow a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Well, I'll move on to Call of Duty for a second. Another game I've actually been playing and streaming and stuff is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh yes,
and I have to put it out there. Fair juice to the lads. Like everyone was mad about Origins last year. This game is brilliant.
But did you play Origins? I thought this was the first game.
No, I haven't. I didn't play Origins, and I hadn't played one since like the second one. And like after that, everything was really samey, and the whole combat, everything was just you press squares, X, circle. Yeah. This it took that kind of using the shoulder buttons and watching what's happening and being creative with how you fight people and stuff. And they kind of brought it in. Like this is obviously something that happened in Origins, but I didn't play it. But the story in it it's nice. And like I'm not even mad about the whole Spartan ancient Greece thing or anything like that. Like, but the story's it's pretty good. But the map is huge. It's massive.
You were literally reacting the same way I did to Origins. I was the same as you. I hadn't much interest in Assassin's Creed, and then Origins came out. I actually like Black Flag, but Origins came out and it totally changes the way. And what I believe, reading from comments, is Odyssey is very similar to Origins with the way it handles and the way you kind of go through the world, and the fact that yes, the map is ridiculous in Origins. So I will pick this up, but it's not. It was never a day one for me, just because I know it's such a huge game and it's a huge time sink. But tell me about the characters. You can pick between. It's
a male or female, and I think I haven't played as a female character at all yet. I'm not sure if their stories are the same or if they cross paths or anything like that. But it's the story. Like you start off and you think you're the son of a Spartan who's a leader and all this. I'm not going to give away the story too much, but it turns out that your mother's a bit of a dirty woman.
Okay,
a dark bird.
Yeah, a bit of a dark bird.
Dark bird.
Is Jared Butler your father? Because if it is, I'll never buy this game.
Jared Butler,
right here.
Father.
He's right here. Ronan.
But the thing is, though, have you heard about the complaints about Odyssey yet?
I wouldn't listen to it because I've been playing it. No, but see, I don't play games for things like that. Like I don't want to just buy a piece of gear. I want to go out and fight and earn these things. And it's not hard to earn things in Odyssey at all. Like you kind of like. To upgrade your weapons, your armor and stuff like that, it's not as taxing, because if you kind of play the game as you're going along, and if you're kind of on your ship and you're taking out other ships as you go along, if you're not avoiding things, you'll always have enough gear or enough resources to upgrade your gear as you level up anyway. So
does the game fall into into the same trap as the old ones did, where it's just basically the same mission in a different section of the map?
I haven't strayed too far away from the story enough to find that. I'd say if you kind of stuck to every town and did.
Even the old stories, like, where, like, I played the first and second one, and the reason I stopped playing them is because they were basically the same. Like, every mission was go to a town, find your target, kill the target, and then move on to the next town. Do you know what I mean?
See, the thing about this is you can kind of do that. You can take over little empires, and you can take out leaders and stuff like that, and burn all their supplies, and you gain experience and stuff from that. But as you're doing that, people will put bounties on your head as well, so they'll come after you at the same time. So you could be off doing a mission there. Oh, I'm going to go off and collect some berries, and some lad will come out of a bush and just start whacking the head off you, like. And it kind of keeps you on your toes as to what you're looking for and where you're going. But like, when you have a story-based mission, or if you have a battle, like at the end of it, if you take over like a bit of territory, you'll have like an epic battle at the end of it. And so far, they've kind of been the same for me. But they actually, because they look so cool, I kind of haven't gotten sick of it yet. Because it's like these two armies fighting like in a big melee war in front of you, and you have to kind of go through it and take out certain people and stuff.
Because that's the trap I found that they fell into with the first and second one anyway. Especially, it was copy and paste, like, for every mission. It was just basically the same mission in a different section. That's the only downfall I found.
Played since the second one, because when I had played through them, I kind of felt like the first and second one were fine, and then when they got onto the third one and also on and on and Syndicate and all that, I was just like, no, I'm just sick of this.
Can you? Sorry.
No, go on, buddy. Sorry.
No, I was about to say, is there ones where you have to pick a certain outcome, like say different text bubbles come up and you have to pick which one you say?
You would.
That falls away from like what the basic storyline of that is, that you're going back and you're reliving the past. That like makes sense. How can it make sense that you're able to choose which way you go if you're actually reliving a story already?
Yeah, that's true. But that is a good point.
It also gives the game more replayability, because you can actually go down the other option route and see where that story leads to.
Yeah, I think if you were stuck on a set path, would it be as interesting, and would it leave it as open as it is?
Yeah, no, it's kind of sticking to the same what the original concept was. You know what I mean? I know they're kind of going away from the actual story itself, and I suppose maybe that's a good thing. I'm not really. Don't know.
I actually think it is a good thing. The modern stuff in Assassin's Creed never interested me at all. Like, it was like, even in Origins, when you go to the modern times, it's like, when can we get back to ancient Egypt? It was always a case that it was just filler in between, going back, like basically like the Matrix. Let's throw me back into the Matrix. I don't want to be out here anymore. It's so.
But I feel like if they were to make like a third person, like an Assassin's Creed game in modern times, would it not just be a third person Mirror's Edge?
Well, didn't they make Watch Dogs? Wasn't that what people were kind of saying that it was going to be, that Watch Dogs was actually going to link into the Assassin's Creed series? But
it was terrible games.
Yeah,
the second one was meant to be really good.
I liked the second one. I thought it did a couple of cool things. Guys, we're going to have to move it on a little bit here. It's the what's we're playing.
What are you? Quick.
I have been playing. I'm only going to mention one game because it's all I've been playing for the last, I'd say, 4 weeks since it got released.
4 letters.
FIFA.
Yeah.
And Fano, again, I have to say thank you for introducing pro clubs into my life. That thing is, it's like being a footballer, and it's like, it's like being part of a team. And shout out to Trop United. We went on a 4 unbeaten win streak there the other night. We had a good mate that came in. Rohan is his name. He's in the chat now. He's chatting away there. Shout out to you, buddy. Amazing just to get a pro like you in and show us the ropes and tell us kind of what we're doing wrong, because we're all new to it. And we've got
Fano in centre mid.
Yeah, we've got about 9 solid players.
The jersey there.
Yeah, we've got about 9 solid players at the moment, and there's so many aspects that I like about the pro clubs. There's that kind of RPG element where you create your character and you add stats to this and you add stats to that. I also like the fact that you can choose 3 different positions, so you're not always stuck to the one position. And I just like the whole, it's just like going and having a game of football with the lads. Like, yes, we do get passionate, and I was never one for losing, so I'm always going to be passionate if we are losing and try and bring it back. If someone isn't pulling their weight, we'll get on to them. But it's all friendly at the end of the day. You know, we all laugh and we all joke, and you know, when we score, it's like nothing else. Like, I always find that passion comes good and bad. When things are ticking and things are going so well, everybody is the best of friends. When things go bad, it can get a little, you know, antsy at times, but that's just the way sport is, and it's the way it's always been. I am loving it at the moment. I'm also attacking Ultimate Team. Shout out to Streamer Elite. He's one of my biggest fans there. He's always checking in on the stream. Thank you, sir. And yeah, that's what I've been playing, really, is just that and nothing else.
I was going to start playing the music there. Get you out.
The guys are waking up for their midnight toilet break, and they're looking on and like, how the hell is that guy still awake? Yeah, but we go for about two or three sessions a week, and you know, everyone just comes on and has a bit of crack, and it's been going really well, and we're after getting contacted by a lot of really cool people, and there's big plans going into the future. So watch this space, basically. So guys, the next thing we're going to talk about is news, and there's been a couple of news segments this week that we want to touch on. The first one is, because it's game of the year, people are going to be blowing up. It's going to be everywhere when it's released.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. Fortnite Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out, I believe it's next Friday. Next Friday. I'm actually going into Player One Gaming to grab my physical copy. I wanted to go physical because I started buying physical off Shane and Player One. I got Overwatch for my son. I got Spider-Man, and you know, it's nice to look over and see a physical copy there. So I'm gonna buy
Shane's going to start sponsoring this podcast.
Exactly. Well, he's gonna offer us.
Shane, no, there's a lot of mentions, you know, here.
Everyone slags me for every time I mention Shane. I mention Player One Gaming. It's like a habit I have now at this stage.
I'm gonna do a counter every time you say Player One Gaming. That's 5.
That's 5. Yeah. So put in the Player One Gaming counter and the Dark Souls alongside it, and we should be. If we got €1 for every time those two are mentioned, we'll be rich. No, but shout out to them guys. The reason why I mention them so much is because it's such a cool place to go in and have a chat with the guys, and they're also welcoming. And yeah, that's where I'll be next. It's Thursday. Yeah, is the midnight.
Who's getting Red Dead day one? That's the first question.
I'm getting it day one, 100%. Anything by Rockstar or Naughty Dog, I am there day one.
So am I. I'm definitely getting.
Fano?
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm avoiding it for a while.
Why? Are you not a Red Dead fan?
It's not that I'm not a Red Dead fan. I played the first one. I only gave it like 10 hours, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's not Dark Souls.
Wild West doesn't really jump out at them. Jack?
GTA Wild West. Nah, not for me. I haven't played the first one to be able to actually say that. Yeah, I enjoyed it, so I'll be missing out on the second one until I get around.
Well, the two of you are wrong, so let's move on. So a couple of news stories came out of Rockstar recently. The first one I just want to mention because I think it's really cool is the game is going to be 65 hours long. Now that's the reports that what the story is going to take. Someone in the chat says horse testicles. That's number 2 topic of the week, but
every week.
Stop horsing around now, lads.
So the game is approximately take about 65 hours. Now that to me is a lot of content. I don't think the first one was that. It could. I reckon the first one for the main story was about 25 hours. Was it?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. It was no near bloody 65 anyway.
Yeah, so 65 hours.
PlayStation 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was PS2. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and it was
PS3.
It was PS3.
The original Red Dead was PS2.
Yeah, PS2.
Red Dead on PS2, and then Red Dead Redemption was PS3.
Oh, sorry.
No, we're talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that was PS3.
The Rockstar games.
It took roughly 50 hours to complete 100% if you're playing Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. So this one is about 65 hours supposedly on the story. That to me is exciting, like, because I want to play that game. We're going to be doing, I don't know whether I've announced it already, but we're going to be doing a screenshot competition on the Republic of Players community. We've got a couple of ideas for that. There'll be a few rules for obviously spoilers and stuff that people
It's
won't
going to
get.
be like a horse testicle montage.
Yeah, that's what
Who
I was
cares?
thinking.
Exactly. That's exactly, if it becomes that, well, I'm all for it. But yeah, we have a few ideas anyway going forward into that game, because it's going to be, I personally think that it's going to be game of the year. There's a couple of really good games that came out this year, God of War being one of them. I mean, you can't obviously turn your back on that, but I think Rockstar, they always hit the nail on the head. So I think
God of
that's
War's going to be hard to beat. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
hard.
100%. That's why I mentioned it. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
So the next bit of news is, it's more Rockstar news. Rockstar's staff have been working over 100 hours a week. Now, there's a lot of backlash about this. There's also, Rockstar have come out and said a couple of statements. But what do you guys, just off the bat, like, developers working 100 hours a week, what do you guys think? Is this normal? Is it your work at Rockstar, so why are you giving out type of thing? Or
I don't think, I think that's kind of blown out of proportion. I'd say like certain people were working this as it comes up towards the deadline. I wouldn't say this is something that was like an every week, but the way it's been perceived is like this is something happening every week. It's like someone sitting there with like a slave whip, like hitting people, like work now. Like this stuff doesn't happen. Like if you're going to work, you have the opportunity to work on a game that's going to be probably game of the year, probably going to sell more copies than anything else this year.
It'll probably be talked about for years to come.
Yeah, but
exactly. If you have your name in the credits for that, like, does it really matter if you work that long?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the company should be protecting these people's health. I don't think it was actually anyone to come out and say, oh, they have us, grinding gears here from Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday. I think it was more to do with, it was just an interview and they were like, oh, we're getting stuck into the meat grinder stage. We're putting in the 100 hours a week. And people were like, hold on a second, this is like really unhealthy for you guys to be working this length.
Like 65 hours, like I know it's a base, but like there is loads of people that do that every bloody week.
No, 100 hours.
100 hours.
Yeah, 100 hours. Like 60 hours was Red Dead Redemption originally.
Length of the game. 100 hours is the working week.
Yeah, but I also worked 60-hour weeks like, on the original Red Dead Redemption.
When you get stuck into something, like if you're even stuck into a game, you could sit for 18 hours playing a game because you're stuck into it. If someone's really passionate about their work, say it being character modeling, voiceovers, coding, anything like that, if they get really stuck into it, people probably would be telling them to go home, like, no, I have to finish this.
Yeah.
But that's where these weeks could be coming from. It could be just really creative patches that people are having. And
they get paid a shit ton, I'd say.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, you know what I mean? You're getting paid by the hour on top of that.
So I work for Hewlett Packard, an American company, and Rockstar are obviously American. And the way Hewlett Packard did it was, if you were working, say, a 12-hour shift, you could have like a recreation hour, and you literally go into a room and you can sleep, you can chill, you can watch the telly. You can imagine what Rockstar have in their building. Like, it's not a case that these guys are, their hands are getting sore from knitting a fucking a jumper together. Like, they're going to be, looked after. They're obviously everything that anyone that gets into Rockstar has been looked after for life. So,
like Rockstar do it right. GTA 5 made 6 billion. Like, this game is going to make billions, and like everyone knows it. Like, their profit margins are going to be massive, and if they have to put that amount of hours in to get the game to that level, I'd say why not.
The bigger news I kind of think about this game is, like, Red Dead Redemption came out in 2011. This game literally went into the works for storyboards and everything in 2012. They didn't give it any time. So, like, this game is 6 years in the making. And, like, the amount of people they've actually had come in, like staff, amount of hours they've had, voice actors, they've had model actors come in as well. Like, I think it actually, if you think about it, like the amount of extra money and stuff and hours and all that's going into it, if it doesn't get game of the year, it'll be the biggest disappointment of the year.
No, I'd say it will.
So just a quick line here, guys. The result is a game that Dan, obviously one of the developers, claims is 65 hours long, although 5 hours of content have actually been cut, and boasts 300,000 animations, 500,000 lines of dialogue, recorded by 700 voice actors, and even more lines of code. Like,
but
here, guys, is
between the voice actors and the actual motion actors that they had in to do like movies parts and stuff, they had over 1,200 people come in and just do acting roles for this game, whether it be a voice or a physical acting. Like, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people having a movie. Yeah. Let alone like have it on a video game. And like, you're talking 500,000 different bits of dialogue in the game. Like I don't even know if World of Warcraft.
I think
has
100
that,
hours is
but-
blown out of proportion. I think it's the media taking it, going one way with it. Probably fucking 65, 70 hours. And like,
of course, it is media blowing it down the wrong chute. But
it still could be people working 100 hours just to get these 300,000 animations done or the dialogue done. But then, just to bring it into it, you've heard the rumors about it being supposedly on 2 discs.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
I'm not. I've never. The only time I heard that was today on the Facebook community, where shout out to my good friend Sean Malloy. He mentioned it, but I didn't hear that anywhere.
But I heard it originally. I can't remember where I heard it originally, but with that much animation and dialogue and everything like that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's across 2 discs. But at the same time, they're also saying they're adding in a battle royale and they're also adding in the multiplayer mode. Maybe the second disc will be the multiplayer mode. It wouldn't be the first game to do so.
Yeah, that would make sense. Definitely.
Like Halo did it on the Xbox 360 with ODST or 3 ODST, I think. So again, could be just a second disc, could be multiplayer, and then the main disc could just be straight up story.
Haven't we talked before that discs are literally just a key to allow you to download the game from the internet? Like, why would
not
you
entirely true?
Why would you
games still have installation data, so you don't need to have the internet to play a lot of games still. If you've got a single player campaign to game, you're still going, like that's why people were so rushed about the 50 gig download for
download the game and then you use the key. Like But like
people were talking about Call of Duty last week, and they were all the early releases for this 50 gig download. The only 50 gig downloads people that got were people who bought it digitally. Anyone who went and physically purchased it only had a 17 gig download. The rest of it was on the disc.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it.
Yeah, I know it was on the disc, but the point was making is storage. When you buy the game, you have to upload that game to your PlayStation. You can't store it on the disc. You can't take it out and it's not on the console anymore. You have to put it back in.
Why would you want it on the disc if you can install it? Because it'll run faster from a hard drive in your computer than running physically off a disc.
No. But the point is that you download it off thing, and then it's a key to open the game again. So
we've been doing this.
Might as well be downloading digital.
We've been doing that for 30 years, ever since PC gaming became a thing. We've been doing that.
It's still the point that we're trying to make. It's just a key.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a key. Like you can download the game and then you open the key. Yeah, it's downloading this, but then it's a key. You know what I mean? So you're buying a physical copy to bring it home, put it on your thing, and then just use it to open the thing again. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that that we're going to need 2 discs for this thing. Like, I mean, everything is digital now. Like, obviously, with the disc is there, but I always looked at the disc as just being this, access onto the internet to allow you to download that game.
Like, if you're going to need a patch, you're not going to be able to use the disc.
All right, let's move on, because that's obviously a big topic that we need to attack one of the days. Some good news coming from EA. Shout out to good friend Ushing Glennon. Command & Conquer Remastered. For some reason, they're saying that like this is a big deal, but it will not have microtransactions. Like, who was this a joke or something?
Oh boy, lads!
Seriously, they're hardly going to release a remaster game with microtransactions. Like,
they could have put skin overs or anything on it. You don't. Yeah, you have no idea. Like, or to play online or unlock the online mode.
Or who was it who made SimCity that time? The most recent one that got absolutely annihilated for all the microtransactions and the always.
That is EA, isn't it?
Candy Crush,
wasn't it? No, this is Candy Crush. SimCity was the same.
So basically, Command & Conquer, we're getting a remaster, a 25th anniversary remaster, which I'm really excited for. I know Ray is a big fan as well, and he's excited for that one.
So you're going to download on your mobile or what? This can't be that big, can it?
No, I doubt it will be, and I'd say it will be, it'll just be a reskin of a fantastic set of games, because that's what they are there. And I think what happens here is they release the remaster because of the stick that they got from that mobile game having way too much time at that conference. And then they go and they work on something, a new Command & Conquer that they can bring to consoles and to PC. That's my prediction on that one.
Does a new Command & Conquer do well nowadays, though? I know it's a big franchise and everything else, but we've got Total War and we've got StarCraft and we've got all these other things out there now that are like they've got esports and stuff like that behind them.
Yeah, but them games, like, we don't really have great RTSs on PlayStation. Like, we do have them, and there is a couple of good ones. Sudden Strike 4 is one that that comes to mind. But like, all those games that you mentioned are really kind of PC heavy. I wonder if EA kind of took over the console world and just said, we're bringing a new Command and Conquer. It's on everything. I think it would.
We've had Tropico and stuff like that on the PlayStation as well, and they don't hold up as well anymore.
I don't like Tropico.
That's what I'm saying. They don't hold up on consoles. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, but I don't think it's the console problem that I have. I just literally don't like that game. I played it on PC, but with Sudden Strike, I played it on console and loved it. I thought it was brilliant the way the controls handled. I think they can create RTSs on consoles and make them very friendly to control.
I don't really like the consoles either. I think I'd prefer them on PC.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the only ones anything kind of RTS based I've liked on consoles is the XCOM games.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that either.
I don't think a Command and Conquer or an Age of Empires. I don't think them games like remotely would feel right on a console anymore. Or
I think they should go to phones. I think they do well on a phone.
I still don't think that these games were made. I think they're made for mouse and keyboard, point and click kind of thing.
Have you played Divinity on console by any chance?
Divinity Original Sin?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I played on PC.
Yeah, it's that's a good game. Now I know it's a little bit different because it's kind of an RPG.
It's more like game. Diablo kind of.
Like but that's a type of game that shouldn't really work on console, but it works. A lot of people prefer nearly playing it on console over PC just because it's so the way the controls handle are so brilliant. I played it on both, and I have to agree. Like, I really like it on console because there's less buttons you have to worry about, and everything is so intuitive. And the way you have, you hold a button and a wheel will come up with what you want to do and stuff. I think there is ways around getting these games to really be good on console, but time will. So the next bit of news is digital sales for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 breaks PlayStation and Activision records. So if that doesn't basically tell you that they were right scrapping the single player, I don't know what does. We talked about it earlier on. Is this a surprise to you guys that this game is doing
No, but I think that story was actually that it broke the sales between physical and digital. Digital was way higher for the first time ever than the physical.
Yeah, that seems to happen a lot lately. The same happened with FIFA as well. Digital kind of outweighed the
digital
physical
copy. Yeah, it goes back to the easier way to get, and the more and more internet's update, the more and more people are going to download. The more and more that our hard drives are updated, it's just going to be the physical is going to die. It's just, I know everyone goes mad every time I say that, but that's the way it is. I think.
You go hang that poster back up.
No, will not. No, I honestly, we say it all the time, but I really do think physical only has a few years left to come up. It's happening more and more often where these games are coming out and people are just downloading straight to the PlayStation. Another
that's lazy. That's laziness at the end of the day.
It's not lazy. But another point on that, why it's a good thing, is the way you can PS share with someone, like, say you set up that your PlayStation is your PlayStation.
To talk about these things.
Yeah, but that's your main account. Why not? There's nothing wrong with it.
Because if PSN goes down like it did last night, no one can play it.
Exactly. Yeah, but a lot of games you can't play. You couldn't play Call of Duty. PSN went down anyway. It's a blackout.
If you owned FIFA and you did it that way, you wouldn't be able to play it. Either person wouldn't be able to play it, even if you wanted to just play the story.
I was able to go. I was able to go out and buy Call of Duty this weekend, and then my brother was able to play the same game. Like that wouldn't happen if you weren't able to do it with a digital copy. It's another point why digital is better.
We're back to this conversation, guys.
Get out.
So it's the same storyline. It's the same story, like so.
No, but the game has sold phenomenally. Like it really has. Considering that there was so much grief over there not being the story mode put in, and I'd see the big selling point is that it's those two words, battle royale. Like that has absolutely destroyed the market for this game. Like. And like it's not like they didn't hold up on their end. It plays well. It looks well. It doesn't necessarily sound well unless you're listening for the people on the quads. You can hear them a mile away. Or if Paddy has a rocket launcher, you can hear that when it lands at your feet. But no, the game is held up. It's held up really well, considering it has no real offline. There's no real, unless you want to do like the train.
There's no offline.
Yeah, but you can do the training thing. That's about it. Like,
yeah.
Jack, like the game.
Honestly, like, you know me now, Paddy. I disagree with you every time you say digital is going to be the way to go.
No,
but that's simply because
really
there'll always be a market for physical.
Let him talk.
There will always be a physical market, because in all honesty, there's so many games that have been released digitally over the years that have actually gotten physical copies in more recent years because people want the physical copies. Like, originally, Super Meat Boy was digital. You look in any, you can find a physical copy for the PS4 and the Xbox One now. Yeah, same with some of the more obscure Japanese games or whatever else you want to talk about. You see them on PSN as just strictly digital. If you look, there is different companies releasing physical games, like limited run games and the like. There's even PlayAsia. PlayAsia have limited run games as well.
Limited run games is very niche, but like it runs back to Extravision is gone, all the rental places are gone, physical, all the DVDs are gone. Every physical media is dying. That's
why I'm saying people are lazy. Like,
yes,
if people
exactly,
went up,
that's 100% the truth of it. That's exactly why it's because that's how Netflix is taken over. That's how, because people are lazy. People will always go for the easiest option.
Yeah. I agree that like, I've been digital a long time, but I do get where Jack is coming from. I think when there is a want for something, and a lot of my American friends will choose physical hands down. They just like the feeling of something in their hand. They like the feeling of purchasing something. You're talking about Extravision there, but a lot of physical copies are bought on Amazon. I mean, a lot of people will buy their physical copy on Amazon. So there's not really, if it is a case that all the shops go, which I hope they don't, because it's always nice to go to a place like that and look around. There is still a market there for physical.
But there may be a market there for our ages. But like, if we jump down to the next generation coming up, like, do you think they care about physical copies as much as we would have done?
The best thing I ever did for my son was on his birthday. I brought him in to play one game and put it down the list, and I got him Overwatch, and there's something about, it's like a ritual where you get a physical game, you buy it, you have it in your hand, you're looking at the cover, you're looking at the back of the cover, you bring it home, you put it in, it's on the shelf. There is a ritual about that, and I don't think it's ever going to be totally scrapped. I think, yes, there's a possibility that we might, the CD might change, but I always think we will have some sort of memorabilia or some sort of physical form with games. I don't think it's going to be as quick as a few years. I think maybe in 20 years' time it will go totally digital, but I think there is such a market out there. If we had a group of gamers in one room, half of the people buy physical and half the people buy digital. It's never a pull to one side. I don't feel like there is anyway. And I've been buying digital since I was playing PC years ago. But I always get that argument that no, I'm still buy physical games. It's just there's just a want there for it, I think.
I just can't wait to have Resident Evil 2 remake as a physical copy. Like, that's what's getting me through this year. I know it's coming.
Exactly. And companies like CD Projekt as well, which I'm going to talk about now, they partnered with Bandai Namco for distribution on Cyberpunk 2077. That was a bit of news that dropped during the week, that partnership. But they do a great thing. They did a great thing with The Witcher, where if you bought the physical copy, they give you like just so much stuff to look at, and a note from the developer saying thank you for buying this game. And people really, really like that. Like, there's a lot more to be said than developers doing that than just clicking on a shop, downloading it, and that's it. It's on your system. But I'm still gonna go digital regardless of what the world thinks.
Can I add on one thing to the physical thing, though?
Of course you can, Jack.
It's like when you get a new book, the smell of opening up a brand new game is just so nice. It's like a brand new book. It's just so nice. You can't beat that. Like, when you get it digital, you don't get that.
I agree. There's something special there about it, definitely.
Case in point about just buying physicals. I paid the same price for this as anyone else would have. I played that's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like I paid 70 quid for it in GameStop. There's the game. They threw in an art book and a big massive map. Anyway, the art book's class. Like, and it's not like if they just handed me something that looked like a DVD, I kind of be like 70 quid. Yeah, but I paid the same price. I got like, and the art book's really cool actually. The art in it is actually really nice.
Well, that's actually really nice.
But like that's the same price as getting it as your digital download, and there's like download codes and everything. You get the exact same download codes or the exact same content from buying it off the PlayStation Store. Get a nice little box, get an art book and a map and the game. Like, physical's always going to win for me. I don't care.
So basically, there you have it, Paddy. It's 50-50. Like I said, it's always 50-50 when it comes to.
I could literally argue about this all night, but I don't think we can.
As could I, Paddy. As could I.
So the last bit of news. I just wanted to just mention this because this guy meant an awful lot to a lot of people. I personally didn't look at the streams or that, but one of the OGs from Mixer has sadly passed away. Cranky Canuck was his name. We're going to have something up on the site about him and what he did for the Mixer community. I think Jade, one of our content creators, is going to do something up on him just to tell us about his life and what he did. So rest in peace, and shout out to his family. Hope they're doing okay. So our next topic, Fano, you're here for this one, thank God. Is not that Jack did a bad job. No, I'm not saying that. Jack filled in really well.
Jack, I am the OG.
I know you are, but I just said I'd do it while you were gone. All
right, I'll give you the boring ones first, right? So
bring back Jack. Bring back Jack.
All right, so look, this day last year we got the South Park The Fractured Butthole. Yeah. Anyone else?
I don't really think we should be talking about this game that last year. Right. Like we should have 5 years.
Stop now, right? 12 years ago today on the Xbox 360, we got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Awesome.
Shout out to Dave.
What a game.
Yeah. Splinter Cell. That's coming back.
12 years ago today, a Rockstar game came out called Bully.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, yes.
You check out the remaster of that thing. It still holds up today. The humor is phenomenal in that game.
On the PC, 13 years ago, we got Fear. Has anyone ever played that?
I played Fear, yeah. Amazing. Creepy as hell.
24 years ago today, this is my one. I was only 4 years old. We got Sonic and Knuckles.
Deadly. Nice.
What a game. I don't even care if you're angry. What a game.
He's got a nostalgia mode, folks.
I have a physical copy of it somewhere, Paddy. A physical one.
Do you want to go further back than that, or is that it?
No, that's as far as I'm going. I don't care about anything else before that.
Deadly. So, topic of the week, guys. We're going to do this very quickly. Jack brought this up last week because he disagrees with what is the best, but we're going to be doing best exclusive ever. We're going to just start. Paddy, what is your favorite exclusive game of all time?
My favorite one is The Last of Us.
Very, very good choice. Extremely good choice, actually. It's definitely
the storyline, the gameplay, the graphics. It was a very good game. It was brilliant. I enjoyed every bit of it. I played it a couple of times through, and I played it again. Can't wait for the next one to come out.
Did you play the DLC as well?
I played the DLC as well. It's a very good game. That added a little bit to the story. And even when you watch the trailer of the next one, that you needed to play the extra bit at the end for the DLC to know what was going on in the trailer. Really, it's a very, very good game. Very good story. Very original.
I agree. It's one of my. If you were to give me, or if I was to give you a top 5 games of all time, that would definitely be in my top 5. I think exactly the writing in that game is just perfect. It's creepy as hell. I think what it did was at the time it released when zombies was nearly overdone, but it did the zombie. Well, they're not zombies. They're what are they? Infected in a way that just was interesting and was realistic. And I love the characters, and that Joel is an amazing character, and Ellie is. We're going to be getting the second one coming up, and yeah, that's going to be exciting. I mean, it's do we even need a second one? Probably not, but we're getting it anyway. And
it's more, that game's nearly more about the storyline than gameplay. You're like it's a proper. You're probably into it, and you're like following them along and seeing the characters develop, and it's very, very good. And the bond between Ellie and Joel and.
One of my favorite moments was when they walk. What I always said about that game is it's it's a lot of pain followed by moments of happiness. And one of the best parts in that game was when they walk out into this kind of open area and they see the giraffes and the giraffes come over, and that to me was just was a mind blow.
You could be like, I think you're like 1 minute you're fighting in the underground, and next thing you come up, and then there's a big giraffe sitting there. It's like there's brightness at the at the end of all the horror. You know what I mean? It's very very good. I'd recommend anyone playing.
Definitely. That's on PS4 exclusive as well. There's probably going to be a lot of
PS3,
PlayStation. Sorry, PS3, PS4. Jack, what is your
exclusive then? If it's been on 2 consoles,
Yeah.
Well, it's PlayStation exclusive, so yeah, that would count. Jack, Platinum Jack.
Sadly, most of my exclusives have been remastered and released for other consoles, so I'm going to go for one that's a bit out of the left side of the field. Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon was amazing.
It's not on the PS2.
No, it's an Xbox 360 game.
Oh.
What is Blue Dragon, Jack?
It's a turn-based RPG for the Xbox 360, and it was created by Mistwalker, or developed by Mistwalker, but the artist is Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball. But my favorite bit is the music composer was Nobuo Uematsu.
Nice.
So it was kind of like Final Fantasy-esque, but it was a multiple disc game, but I remember getting given it by a friend when I was in secondary school, and I just played the absolute hell out of it. So I did.
What? So do you go back and play that every so often? If it's your favorite exclusive, or because I personally never heard of that game. I'm sure if I seen the cover, I'd probably recognize it, but it's probably a game that I could pick up.
It'd be my favorite exclusive for the Xbox 360. Like as I said, most of my favorite exclusives are all after being remastered and released for other consoles, so technically they're not exclusives anymore. You know what I mean? Like Final Fantasy X is getting released for the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch, and so on and so forth. And Onimusha is getting re-released for the Switch as well. So,
God, so you were duped a little bit.
Yeah, but Blue Dragon is still one of my all-time favorite games.
I can honestly say I've never ever heard of it. That's just
the thing is, though, I'd never heard of it until I was in third year or something like that. It'd been out for about 4 or 5 years at this stage.
Who develops it, Jack?
It was developed by Mistwalker and Artoon. And obviously it was published by Microsoft Game Studios.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Fano, are we going to be hitting the same?
Well, we would have. But I was just thinking, and because you're being so rude about not letting me use games that have been put on other things, we're going to go with one that just it affected everyone I know's life on how they play games with people. Like now it doesn't. No, you go away.
Paddy, it's exclusives.
You'll all go, oh yeah.
You're released on everything, on every single thing ever. Fires from exclusive.
Watch them pull the same face now, right? Please, it's GoldenEye.
Never played it.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
Never, Jack.
Come on, Jack.
Get off the podcast.
Sorry, I do remember playing it once and then went, holy shit, these controls are janky.
Yeah, they are. You're janky as hell.
It just shows Jack is like 20 years younger than us. That's what every week.
And if you're playing as oddball, you're cheating. Yep.
You're 24. He's too young to be on this podcast, lads. I think we're too old to hang around with him, to be honest.
There's an age restriction.
Do you even know who Mario is, for God's sake?
Yeah, I know who Mario. Jesus Christ, how bad of a question is that?
And I know. You didn't play GoldenEye, Jack. It's a good question.
I just said I played it. I remember playing it once.
It's a good question. Mario 64. Actually, Jack said Light Wars. Didn't you?
Oh my God!
I had Light Wars, but I didn't play it.
Shout out to Retro Gamer Ireland. He slated me for not knowing that, so sorry.
Good old Star Fox.
GoldenEye has to be like, I know they redid it on the Wii and stuff, but it's not the same. Don't even go near it.
It's coming out again with
somebody's making it remake.
No one cares. No one cares about them. No one cares about any of that.
Well, I'll play it.
Get an N64. Get yourself a big, huge bastard of a box TV. Get a nice old looking couch where the cushions don't fit it anymore. Get a big yolk of popcorn. Sit down with your mates and play GoldenEye.
I don't have any friends.
No one's allowed to be oddball though, because that's cheap.
What's yours? I know what yours is. We'll just end the show. It's over.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to hear Romans. We already know what Romans is going to be.
Hold on, that's drum roll.
My favorite exclusive.
Drum roll.
Come on.
is Bloodborne.
Bollocks!
There's listen, okay, I'm not just saying it because I'm a big.
I think Jack just fell into the abyss or something.
I want to actually give my reason to why it is because when Bloodborne came out, obviously the people that were big into Dark Souls knew what was coming, and Bloodborne. The way Bloodborne is designed got so many people that had no interest in Dark Souls into essentially a Dark Souls game. The way the combat was, sped up, the way the art style was very Castlevania-like, just really kind of dark, gothic setting. I mean, the opening area of that game, like anyone out there knows that the opening area of that game kicks your ass from start to finish. There is just this street of mobs everywhere, and I don't know, it was one of my best experiences on PS4 today, and still is. I would love to see Bloodborne 2 obviously be announced, but we're obviously going to be getting Shadows Die Twice next, which I'm really looking forward to. But I love everything about that game. There's so many aspects that I love. The gameplay, the story is so strange and convoluted. I'm a big fan. I've never really announced this before, but I'm a big fan of Lovecraftian literature. I read a lot, and he's one of the guys that really just creeped the hell out of me. And Bloodborne really sang to that kind of theme of being afraid of the unknown. And yeah, Bloodborne was just. It was just a mind blower, and I think we actually played it recently, didn't we, Fano? We jumped back onto it we had like an event where we all jumped back on, and I had a hell of a lot of fun, going and experience that game with you guys. There's like that's another aspect, is the online it's just so weird and just so brilliant and so original, and that's my favorite exclusive of all time.
I'll always think that was a brilliant move by Sony, just saying something like, we want that for us. Because I got so many people who love the Soul series, and they actually have to go and buy PlayStations just to have the game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, a lot of people. It was like, believe it or not, it was a system seller. It was the game that the thing that I always find about Dark Souls is everybody talks about it when it's out, and everybody talks about it like this. It's this mythical thing, and everyone wants a slice of the pie. Yeah, I know, but it's not for everyone. But it was for a shit ton of people, because that game sold
at least ridiculously well.
But yeah, that's 3 solid exclusives. Paddy, The Last of Us was definitely up there for me. I was kind of between them two. The Last of Us is just a mind blower as well. There's certain times
we've lost Jack.
We've lost Jack. There's certain times in gaming where games are released and they blow you away, and definitely The Last of Us and Bloodborne were those two for me. So guys, we're kind of coming to the end of the show. If we want to do our shout outs and get the hell out of here.
Do some community.
If you want to run through community,
we'll run through the comments here, see if we can find a question.
Yeah. A couple of guys said, my question to the cast is, with the rise of Battle Royale formats, in the current generation of games, does the format have longevity, or is there a peak? That's from the good guy Streamer Elite. Fano, what do you think?
I feel like with all kind of fads and stuff, like, one company has to get it spot on, and that's kind of where it ends. It's like RPG, like MMORPGs. No one's ever going to top World of Warcraft. No, that's never going to happen. You got like with multiplayer games and stuff, the most competitive, and it still is to this day, is CS:GO when it comes to shooters. You've got League of Legends. Nothing's going to top that. It doesn't matter how many MOBAs come out. Have we seen that yet? When it comes to Battle Royale, we don't know yet. Simple as that. It's simple as that. We don't know. We have our first 3 major players. We've got PUBG, we've got Fortnite, and we've got this COD. But is the Battlefield 5 one going to be better? We don't know yet. Is the next one around the corner after that going to be better? Like, once it's established that there is just a one that everyone's going to follow, like obviously right now it's Fortnite and COD. PUBG's fallen by the wayside. Then, like, once it's for certain, you'll like in 5 years' time, we'll say, well, that's the one. That's the one that stood out from the crowd. Right now, we don't know if it's happened yet. So I can't say.
It's not going to mellow out yet. It'll be
No, I think the game mode has about a year more of new titles that come out that can be contenders for it. But
Paddy?
I think after that, I think it's just going to settle around.
I think that the game mode is a brand new mode, and I think it's going to be put into games for years and years to come. Will it be as popular as it is now forever? Definitely not. But it'll definitely be a new genre in every game, like for years to come. Like you'll have COD, they'll do it now, and then they'll wait a few games and they'll put it back in again. Like I think Fortnite is going to be one of the top ones for a very long time.
I agree with absolutely everything there, Paddy. I think that this is going to be entwined in every multiplayer game that we have in the near future. I think it's going to be, it'll be missing if it's not there. But
it's like zombies now. Like zombies come in, and it's just it's there if you want to play it, and loads of people love it. But it's not as massive as it was,
Going back to the point I was trying to make, do we have a zombie game that stands out from the rest? Like DayZ still doesn't pull up well. The armor mods for DayZ, they're gone by the wayside.
I think it's more established as a mode, not a game. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there isn't a market leader in it. There's nothing there that says that is the one to drive that franchise. There
really is. Like, if you want to take numbers into account, Fortnite is the leader. Like, and it probably
I'm talking about zombie games. I'm talking about DayZ. I'm talking.
Why are we talking about DayZ?
I'm just talking genres in general because that would have been the last genre before this. That was
okay. Zombies, I got you. Sorry,
but have we seen the best game for that genre, or did that just kind of skip by us and we didn't see it? Because I don't think any of them games still stand out well. Even to Scum came out a month and a half ago. Is anyone talking about it anymore?
I think Left 4 Dead was pretty well.
Left 4 Dead's a different game. Left 4
Dead
is a 4-person team game. And you're only playing on smaller maps. You're limited to an area. Like I'm talking about open world zombie games.
Survival, like Scum or
Ark or any of them. Is there one that stands out from the crowd that people say that's the one to get behind? That's the franchise.
Yeah, you're right. Probably not one that's made. Like they all seem to be buggy as hell, but they never had a company like Treyarch with the money that Activision can bring. I honestly think that Call of Duty could have really hit something on the head here. Everyone's talking positive about it, and everyone that can't play Fortnite or can't play PUBG for whatever reason, that is a huge Call of Duty fan, this will be their first taste, and I think it's a really good first taste into the genre. Like you said, Battlefield is coming out. What are they going to do? Like, I mean, essentially they have been doing battle royale modes for a long time. It's a large scale battle, but it's not one death and you're dead. But yeah, like time will tell. We're gonna be seeing an awful lot more of them in the future. Red Dead Redemption could really hit the nail on the head. I think a setting like Red Dead Redemption could be really cool, where you've got so much cover and you're out in the wild, and you never know when you're going to bump into someone else. I think that could be my cup of tea. That's slower paced. Paddy, did you see any more questions there you want to go through?
Yeah, from Emerald Lad Game and Ray. Why is digital more expensive? They don't have to pay the distributors, they don't have to pay deliveries, they don't have to pay retail stores to sell it. Why is it still 10 to 20 dearer to buy digital? To answer that question, the reason they do that is because the stores would go absolutely nuts if they undercut them, because they definitely lose. Then if you could buy it on your PlayStation, it's cheaper than in store. You're gonna lose.
Again, I want to cut in. Like you're talking about, like it's 70 quid to buy Black Ops right now. Last week, if you got it on Friday in Super Value, it was 50 quid. If you bought it in Smith's, it was 60 quid. It's still 70 quid on the PlayStation. It doesn't make sense.
That reason is because the stores will go nuts if they try to sell it for the same price or cheaper.
I don't think the store has any say in that matter.
No, they don't. That's
all of the stores, like all together, every distributor ever that's going to buy their games, that's going to buy the games off them, they are going to sell it to PSN for more expensive, so they won't undercut the stores that'll completely put them out of the market. That's the reason. Like, it's 100% the reason why they do it. Like, it's got to be all of them together. If you got every store in the world to come up against the consoles, and that there'd be an uprising, like you can't try and undercut them. You'd be undercutting their own market.
I honestly think digital is cheaper. It just takes a little bit longer, because when a digital game is released, it's the same price. It's whatever, the 70 quid. But 2 weeks down the line, you'll get a weekly deal or a deal of the week, or
But that backs it up. That what my thing was for the store, like that backs it up. Like,
so that's why I actually think personally, I've always found it cheaper to buy digitally. The only difference that I find with buying physical is you have the option there to trade it back in, which you don't with physical, or sorry, which you don't with digital.
That's definitely a downfall. Definitely.
So I don't know, like it's back and forth. Who knows? I think at the end of it, digital will end up being cheaper, because if it does go the way you say, Paddy, obviously the middleman will be cut out. So why wouldn't they drop the price and have more games being sold? But I personally think digital is cheaper. It just takes a little bit longer for it to drop in price.
Okay, well, I think we should move on and come on back next week and talk more about
it. So we're going to get out of here. Paddy, what is your handles? Let's get out of here. Tell the good people where they can find you.
Paddy the Pagan on Twitter, and you can find me streaming on the Republic of Players channel on Twitch. And a shout out to the community for the support, and we'll see you next week.
Fano?
You can find me everywhere at Rockstar. That's Twitch and Twitter. If you have any questions, just hit me up on the Facebook. I'll do Jack's while I'm here. Jack on Twitch is the Platinum Jack, and everywhere else he's Waxticles.
Nice. I am the Alpha Fox Gaming on Twitch. I am also the Alpha Fox on Twitter. I'm still writing to Twitch to try and get them to change that back, but it's not happening, it seems. And just get me on PSN, which will be changed soon, is Tupacrip07. People will see me on the front lines of pro clubs in FIFA. Shout out to Rohan in the chat. He's been great. Thanks again for coming on and playing with us last night. It was a great experience. I've been your host, Rona Fox. This has been the Republic of Players podcast, episode 17, and we are out.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.